You're recognized for 5 minutes, and you may begin.
Thank you, Chairman Luke DeMeyer, Ranking Member Lacey Clay, and members of the subcommittee. My name is Stephen Day. I am the President of National Agency Operations for Fidelity National Title Group. I'm testifying today in my role as President of the American Land Title Association. ALTA believes that the best step Congress can take to improve the accountability and transparency at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is to require that the agency provide the businesses it regulates with written, reliable guidance on how to comply with the law and protect consumers in real-world scenarios. As I travel the country talking with small business members, I've learned a simple truth. More information is never a bad thing when it comes to decision-making. This is why we urge Congress to pass H.R. 5534, the Give Useful Information to Find Effective Compliance Act, introduced by Representatives Sean Duffy and Ed Perlmutter. This bipartisan bill creates a process for the Bureau to ensure formal and reliable written guidance on how to comply with its regulations. In May, Acting Director Mulvaney spoke to our members. He mentioned his philosophy that the Bureau should tell companies the rules of the road and provide concrete guidance and examples prior to enforcement. Guidance helps people and businesses make more informed decisions on how to comply with law in real life. This differs from formal regulations that implement and prescribe laws. Guidance can come in the form of advisory opinions, bulletins, no-action letters, statements of policy, and answers to frequently asked questions. These tools can apply widely as a guide to guide an entire industry like a bulletin, or be narrow and specific to a single person like an IRS private letter ruling. Clear, reliable guidance and examples are important for two reasons. First, it provides businesses with a solid basis for making decisions and investments that they know will not harm consumers or lead to potential enforcement actions and fines. Second, guidance improves the effectiveness of regulator supervision by providing a reference point for judging business practices for compliance. Our industry acutely felt the need for guidance when implementing TRID, where both the quality and quantity of the Bureau's guidance was lacking. Hundreds of questions arose as we implemented this rule. Rather than answer these questions in writing, the Bureau hosted 5 webinars. The problem with these webinars is that from onset, staff read a disclaimer telling us not to rely on their answers. At the same time, the Bureau drafted 11 sample disclosures reflecting generic real estate transactions. Despite their usefulness, the Bureau refused to develop additional samples of more complex transactions, such as construction loans and FHA and VA loans. The Guide Compliance Act would require the Bureau to have a standard process for assessing these requests and timelines for responding to them. In the past, the Bureau refused to publish guidance under the belief that saying less to the companies it regulates will provide them with more flexibility. This was the case with the Bureau's 3-page memo that reminded banks they needed to oversee their third-party service providers. Instead of providing flexibility, it had the opposite effect and led to confusion. Lenders tried to read the Bureau's tea leaves and developed compliance processes that reduced consumer choice or treated small businesses the same as large national firms. A more valuable bulletin would provide banks and non-banks with examples of vendor management programs based on different risks. This is what the OCC and the FDIC did in their comparable bulletins. I also mentioned to you ALTA's support of a commission for more bipartisan leadership at the Bureau. And lastly, we want to applaud this committee and the House for passing the bipartisan TRID Improvement Act. The TRID Improvement Act fixes one of the most confusing requirements of the Bureau's mortgage disclosure rule, and a main topic of questions the Bureau did not address in guidance. We urge the Senate to follow the House's lead on this important bill. Thank you for offering us this opportunity to share our views on how to improve the Bureau. Compliance is about more than protecting consumers. It protects a company's reputation, financial well-being, and employee morale. As an industry predominantly made up of small and medium-sized businesses, we need a regulator that helps remove the gray. We need a regulator that matches simple and clear regulations with helpful and illustrative guidance and examples. The Guide Compliance Act makes this part of the Bureau's DNA, and we urge Congress to pass this legislation. Thank you.